Alrighty, well, we are back on another episode of the Fashion Hive podcast. We're continuing this fashion blitz throughout the week, which it's a wonderful opportunity for us to sit down with designers who we don't always get instant access to. Albeit they're from Kansas City. So we have a wonderful designer on. Already presented this week, but we wanted to sit down. She came back for the designer breakfast with the CFDA program. So a huge shout out to Toree Marie for willing to sit down with us on the Saturday afternoon when she can be doing anything else. But yeah, thank you seriously for being here.
Yes, thank you for having me.
So if you would just want to go ahead and tell us and our audience a little bit about yourself and like your background in designing and what made you want to get into fashion?
Yes. Okay, so I am originally from Des Moines, Iowa, so I do travel to Kansas City for this event. I originally went to school and I currently work as a landscape designer. So yeah, I did study architecture in school. And through the fashion program there, we did some collaborative work with the architecture as well. I was exposed to some of the craftsmanship and everything with fashion. And yeah, a few years out of college, I started tackling the fashion world and everything. So yeah, I've just
jumped in.
Jumped in first.
Yes.
And is this your first time at Kansas City Fashion Week?
No, so my first time showing was spring summer 22,
Okay.
and then this is my second line. I showed on Wednesday night. The 23 season.
There you go. So yeah, you already did share your collection, and you said you just previously showed in Kansas City Fashion Week. But what inspired you to kind of want to reach out, show your designs to the world? Was this the first time you really designed?
Yes. So honestly, I saw Casey through Instagram, and it is hard to get your work out there sometimes. And I was like, this is a great opportunity. I was fairly new to the fashion world when I first applied, but I did have a few garments I could show to represent my brand and my work. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to try this out. I think I can dress about 10 people. And yeah, just that initial push was great. And Kansas City has been awesome. The whole KC Fashion Week crew is just so accommodating and nice. So yeah.
I've started noticing a trend where a lot of designers have architecture backgrounds or collaborate between architecture and fashion. So can you tell us a bit about how those two work together? And
yeah, so I think a lot of the skills and craft from architecture can translate into fashion. Just using your hand is so important in developing patterning as well. Even though sizing is a bit tough, I just feel like having a hand touch, knowing the woman's body, because I do mainly women's wear, knowing the woman's body is just so beautiful when the pieces are cut by hand and then perfected through a computer or grading and whatnot. But
so a lot of your knowledge with the architecture background kind of helped inspired your designing and fashion?
Yes. So I guess when I was in school, I did a lot of model making, and I love working with my hands. So I feel like the skills I picked up through just that craft was crucial and translates into the craft of my garments.
That's awesome, because you do design a lot of really cool things. We were excited to see you show in our show.
Oh, thank you.
So I will tell you, as someone who, and I feel like I say this on every episode, so I'm just a broken record. I'm not. I know I say know nothing about fashion, but I'm the least fashion forward person that's sitting on this couch right now, or sitting on this set.
We can tell.
Yeah, thank you. Right.
Hey, at least she's not wearing the KC Fashion Week shorts
and leggings,
right? At least she looks nice today.
I heard Skylar earlier, our wonderful producer, saying,
producer Skylar,
I'm pretty sure my dad has that shirt. And I was like, oh, so I'm 40. But
he's rethinking his whole wardrobe.
With that being said, 10 looks. How did you come about that? Because there's a minimum and there's a maximum. What made you settle on 10? Is that just where you felt comfortable?
Okay, so I came in as an emerging designer, and so I was not necessarily I wasn't in a student category, so it was kind of just said the min was 10 looks. Okay. So I was like, I could tackle 10. My first line actually ended up being 13 looks.
Wow.
Just because I one thing led to another, and I
Your brain was just full of all the ideas. You're like, gotta keep going.
And then this year it was 9.
Okay.
I was shooting for 8, but then I was like, I do have a little bit of a, like, part of my brand, not necessarily my brand identity, but just the background of it is like cats have 9 lives.
Okay.
Oh.
And so there's a little bit of, you know, superstition to things. And yeah, because I'll, like, my studio at home, I label it like Sparkle Kitten Studio. So it's a little bit like a side thing, but yeah.
So do you see 9 looks moving forward almost every time?
Honestly, I'm like, okay, it was like a little serendipity that it ended up being 9.
Okay.
I was like, it wasn't like super planned out, and then I was like, wait, this like really fits. Like 9 looks is kind of it, but like I wanted to do 8 for the Instagram continuity, but then I was like, you know what, 9 is where it's at. So
that's awesome. I love that so much. Are you a cat person?
I am.
I'm a cat person.
I'm allergic
for dogs.
I'm allergic to cats.
Oh.
Same, but I have 2.
I like identify with him a little bit, you know.
That means you have 9 lives, so you're good.
Yes, I do believe I do. Like, I think I'm on life 4.
Oh. Oh no. So as a designer, do you kind of like your style kind of reflect your designs, or do you kind of have like your own style that you just kind of like is inspired by your designs? Like, explain your style to a little bit.
I do feel like I have my own personal style on top of my pieces. Like I would say my line is very like clean, sophisticated women's wear with a touch of girly, but I do love the, you know, blacks, whites, neutral colors. I think I'll dabble in more color, like the purple.
Yes.
So yeah, I definitely, styling my pieces of myself is always way different than what I send down the runway. Like, I'm wearing this dress is from my line this year, but this just went down as a dress and heels.
But you kind of like casualized.
I'm starting to get the basics that people can start wearing and everything. Yeah. So I'm excited about that.
You have such a cool girl aesthetic. Like, you just look you look like a chiller. Like,
yes.
Like, it's a vibe.
That's so cool to hear, though, because I feel like most designers, they just kind of like wear what they style. So it's kind of interesting how you can like separate them but still kind of make them like you. That makes sense.
But like the versatility, because that is part of your collection, but you're able to dress it up, dress it down for whatever occasion. So I think that's a really cool
that's
aspect.
amazing that your designs can do that, like, because that will make it easier for people to buy them too.
Yeah, hopefully. I love seeing I love seeing people style it on their own, because I have like a team that comes out with me, so they always, you know, rep TM, and I'm like, okay, like, you style it with those blue shoes and your wash jeans, like, go off.
It's good for your brand too, because that means more people can buy it. It's not just like, oh, only like girly girls can wear this dress.
Yes, and it's
like,
not.
You're showing that you can wear it in different ways.
Exactly. Yeah.
So out of everything that you've done, I mean, we've talked about kind of your inspiration, and we've talked about why you did what you did specifically this season. What would you say as a, like, getting into fashion with some of your either inspiration or role models, or something that you based like your original like thought process and foundation for fashion off of?
Okay, so there are a few brands that are local to Des Moines, but they have a reach outside of Des Moines obviously as well. But I love concept-based design, and not something like, there's a certain way to market yourself on Instagram that I think people get into like a rabbit hole with a bit, like trying to beat the algorithm and this and that. But like, I love the people that's like, okay, they created this vision, concept, and everything all together, and like, this is what ended up on social media and the way they decided to present it on there. But there's like the whole vision for it, and then the media part is a plus.
Yeah, that's amazing to hear. So, as you were showed in this fashion week already, where do you see yourself kind of in your fashion career? Like, do you hope to show in more shows? Do you want to eventually like be known as like this huge major designer? Like, want to travel? Like, what's your fashion goal?
Okay, so I would love to just stay consistent, and I'd love to keep showing at KC. I've been showing in the spring, and that seems to work well with my personal schedule with everything I have going on. So yeah, just stay consistent. I did apply to like Minnesota Fashion Week. I've thought about doing maybe Austin's. I would travel around a bit, yeah.
And does Iowa have any major shows that allows you, or not even necessarily shows, but you know, like sometimes they do like expos, even like that. It's not a true runway show, but it would be something like this vendor market where you can go and set up. Does Iowa have that, or is that something that you do have to actually travel for to get to show?
So there is a little bit of like a tussle going on. Like, not tussle, I guess is the wrong word. Like a vibe. Like, it's starting to move. But I think there was a Des Moines Fashion Week for a bit, and I think it stopped. And then there'll be shows here and there. We do have a studio facility, I guess you could call it, called Mainframe Studios. And so there are a handful of fashion designers in there. And so they will hold events and shows at, we have like a first Friday where people can come and enjoy the artistry and everything. So yeah, there'll be fashion nights there. Yeah.
Sorry.
ahead.
You mentioned your team earlier. Can you talk
Yeah.
about like what kind of roles you have on your team and how
Mhm.
they help support you, what they do for you?
Yes. So right now I have a stylist, and her name is Eleni, and she's awesome. She keeps me in check, and so she'll travel down for KC with me, and we'll tackle this whole week together. And then I also have Julissa, who she is kind of like TM it girl. Like, she'll wear the look, she'll get the poses. She's gonna walk.
Oh.
Yes, she was gonna walk this season, but she ended up not being able to make the audition. But yeah, you'll see her on the runway eventually. I bet.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
but yeah, I'm still growing, trying to find the right people. You know.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for like any other emerging designers, like student designers who are just now getting into fashion and just now trying to showcase their designs?
Yeah. Just like tackle it the best you can. Like, the resources are out there. They're hard to find sometimes. There's some really good people on YouTube who have been trained. If it's something that you need to be making yourself. Uh, just keep pushing. Like, your craft and your skill is gonna improve if you just keep touching it every day. Like, it really will. Yeah.
One thing that you did when you were here on Wednesday, which I absolutely loved, is that you sat down with middle schoolers from a local school here. And you were willing to sit down with this group of 20 of them and just kind of do a podcast without holding a mic and without it being recorded. And one of the things that you had mentioned that you feel is key is consistency, and you spoke to it earlier. What would you say to someone who, like Callie asked, is an emerging designer or a student designer who doesn't have time to sit down and punch out 10 looks?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that they should focus on that one piece and put that out there?
Mm-hmm.
I also loved how you talked about the media and the algorithms behind it and how people get lost in this rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's something we've heard yet from a designer or from anyone else. So I'd really love to hear your perspective on that as well.
Yeah, I think on that point it's kind of just like you just need to stay true to yourself. And if there's a piece that's really speaking to you, but that's going to take you a super long time, then just like execute your vision almost. And then the time will come. You're going to get faster at what you're doing, and if it's important to you, you'll make time for it.
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
Good point. So, out of do you have a thought process when picking your models? I mean, not necessarily. We don't need to name names, or anything like that. Like, that's not our goal here.
Okay.
But I think that's something that our designer or our audience would love to hear. Is like, we're diving into this, and we've talked about Kansas City brings on every look, right? Plus or size models, men, something that you don't necessarily see at all runway shows. What is your thought process when selecting models?
Yeah. So honestly, I am all about the walk.
Okay.
I will watch the walk videos, and that's a huge indicator on if I'll select someone. And then as I'm starting to get to know the roster or the people that seem to continue to show or walk KC, I start to understand their personality. I think listening is a huge plus. Being able to work with different designers is huge. Like, it's not easy being a model by any means. So just that workflow is really important, like the day of and the whole process. So yeah.
And have you ever modeled, like you personally?
Like walked?
Yeah.
Or even just
I'll
like
model.
photo shoots? Like, have you
I'll
done
do
those?
photo shoots.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll do them.
Okay.
Yeah. So another thing, like as far as just like the time and everything, the first collection that I displayed on my social media was just like a mini collection. So it was like 3 pieces that came together, and we shot it in my apartment. And yeah, like just sometimes you think you need to do all this work, and you're just like, wait, I actually kind of already have
what you need.
what I need, and like, why didn't I get that documented well? You know.
I'm a textile and apparel management minor at Mizzou. So with my product development classes, I've probably made about 4 or 5 garments so far. And yeah, I don't think about it that much as like that being my, like, I don't know, history, because I think of it as kind of like a class project that like, you know, so, but there is some things that I do wear, and it's really rewarding to like have people, you know, point something out and be like, oh, hey, that's cute. And then you get to be like, yeah, I made it. And then, so
you're like, hey,
it's like, should they know or should they not know?
Right? Like, am I offended they didn't know, or should it be happy they like complimented?
Can you talk a bit about your collection this season and maybe themes of this line compared to last year's collection?
Yeah, so the concept for this collection was cubic zirconia.
Ooh.
So it was a little bit of a call out of the industry a little bit. I think that concept was like there were a lot more forward things at one point that I ended up not showing.
Okay.
Just with like text or different things. But yeah, just like with everything that's been going down, like even into politics, unfortunately, women's bodies, everything, that was like the main thing. It's just like you can reuse things you have, you can build off of materials you have. You don't need to go into a desert and burn a whole collection.
Yeah.
So that's a bit like what it was about. Yeah.
That's
the
really
pistachio
cool.
dress was really about the woman's body. So I did a chainmail pistachio dress that was like my most artistic piece. And yeah, the concept kind of relates the pistachios to like the fallopian tubes.
Okay.
And
you
and
have
just
a
like
little vision going on.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see it.
Yeah. And like, yeah, I like the street vibe. I like making a statement and everything, but for that one I felt like it was beautiful for what it was, and I didn't need to make a graphic statement after that walk. Yeah.
I love hearing the creative process about like the ideas, because you can't always tell like the ideas behind something just walking out on the runway. You can tell it's cute and it looks good, but you don't always know like those details. So for that dress specifically, like, I mean, it's really unique. So how did you make that, and what went into creating that?
Yeah, so it's made out of pistachios and chain, and it's a chainmail. So basically, you take the pistachio shell and you drill 4 holes in it, and then you would connect each one and eventually get enough for a garment.
Wow.
How many pistachios did you eat for this dress?
Oh, everyone in my family was eating pistachios all week. No, you'd be surprised. Like the shells accumulate quickly.
They do.
Like I feel like it was probably 1 or 2 big bags, and like I had enough because
That's amazing,
you double each time you eat one.
Yeah.
There you
Two.
Right.
That's amazing
So,
about
yeah,
how
we
that
would
goes
eat
to
them.
show for like your recycling port. How like fashion
Yes.
doesn't always have to be so wasteful. It can be more sustainable. Now you literally just provided you and your family a snack and you made a dress.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I also had a piece that was like made out of recycled denim.
Yeah.
So I try to do that as well, but I do love like obviously creating my new like custom stuff, or not custom, like originals. But yeah, that was a fun piece. I was like,
first for me. I've never seen a dress made out of pistachio shells.
Yeah, I was like, someone's got to see something they've not seen before.
So what made you decide like on pistachio shells? Like that's
Yes.
and then like on top of I'm using these, I'm gonna drill into these. Like those are like, I mean, they're small.
I was surprised at how sturdy the pistachio shells are, because they don't crack very easily. Like they do, but we just use a 1/8 drill bit.
Okay.
And I honestly just think I was eating pistachios. Dead ass. Like
I wanted to hear this conversation. She walks up to her family with dumps the bags. Hey guys, I need you to eat these for my dress.
Stocking stuffers for everyone, and it's pistachios, and you're like, why do we have a gallon Ziploc bag? And you're like, because you're keeping the shells.
I need a dress, guys.
Yeah, I don't even know. One thing led to another.
Yeah.
And then I started drilling them, and I was like, okay, well, I got to get on this because this is going to take an eternity.
Yeah.
That is so cool. I would never even think to use like pistachio shells in a dress, but also like mix it with like kind of like an edgier style with the chainmail.
Yeah, sometimes you'll see artists in all different like fields. It's like they took the most basic item, everyday life, and it's like, wow, they just transform that into something different.
Yeah.
And you're like, I would have never thought of that. And so like I just started, like, every single thing I did, I was like, just started thinking. It was just in the back of my mind. So I was like, wait, that's a lot of shells right there.
I think I could do something with that.
I think you're spot on though. Like with designers using something that you would never think of. I mean, one person comes to mind is Clarissa, who's on staff here at Kansas City Fashion Week with Rissa's artistic design, where you know, I mean, she'll use metal and she'll use rock and bike chain, you know, things that you just pretty much everyday things.
Like trash that's to some people is that another one's treasure.
Yeah. And so, you know, turning something into that. So do you see yourself in the future kind of playing around with more, you know, unusual items to make pieces? Is that something that you're planning on using in, you know, more?
Yeah, I'm hoping each season I have like that one piece that's more of like an art piece in my eyes than a garment, but can also serve as a garment. So I don't know if it's gonna always be pistachios or what's the next one. What I need another like nut or something.
Keep up with the food
Walnuts.
Wait, would that work? Do they have shells?
I don't know. I'm just
a peanut dress.
A peanut. Oh God.
I mean, it's easy. Just
that
go to
seems dirty.
Go to the Trash at Texas Roadhouse. Like that's super easy. Like
yeah,
and
then you could just shoot at a baseball field.
Right,
yes.
exactly.
Oh my gosh, you need a little like
Cracker
and Cracker Jacks.
Well, and you could go to the Field of Dreams up
Oh
in
yeah.
Iowa. I mean, we're just
nice.
okay. So now we know
there.
what
Audience,
Toree Marie
someone
is
get her
using.
connected with them and get her singing the 7th inning stretch.
Yeah, dead ass, bro.
She
I
needs
should
to
dress
sing-
her.
You need to sing that.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
because I can sing too, right?
Yes. Yes. Before we started filming, we whipped out a little song for you.
Oh, I still want to get you on later.
Yes.
We need to get you on recording, Shaley, with Waterfalls. So.
Oh my god. I don't know about that.
We're gonna go Field of Dreams, Cracker Jacks, Peanuts.
Yes.
Yep.
Singing something. I'll be behind you throwing the.
Oh, okay, you're coming.
I got you.
Yeah, I
We're
mean,
going on a field trip.
if you travel to us, we're gonna have to travel to you. We'll make that
okay.
commitment for you.
All right,
so.
Santos can be your like backup singer. Shaley and I will
yeah.
be behind you throwing peanuts and Cracker Jacks at the crowd. We got a whole plan.
Yeah, I'll just enjoy the game, and that's where you want me is enjoying.
Hey,
the
he's
game.
ready for a
Okay.
baseball game
Yeah,
with the
I mean-
Hey, we need the
Orioles
morale.
fit.
Yeah. You don't want me singing. You don't want me dressing up any.
You
kind
don't
of
want
way,
him dancing.
and you don't want me dancing. So I mean,
I don't know. I kind of want like all of those things.
yeah. Well, no,
Oh my gosh, you
best-
gotta make him the peanut and Cracker Jack dress.
I'd wear it.
I know. I wonder if it'd fit you.
Oh,
It'd be a little short.
well, I mean,
I mean, you should have seen the shorts the other day.
Yeah.
They were-
Yeah,
I
he's
did-
not scared.
oh,
He's like, and with that, we're done.
Yeah.
They're roasting me.
shots fired.
Shots fired.
Oh goodness. Well, thank you so
Yes,
much.
yes.
Moving forward for all of our for our audience and for anyone who wants to follow along your journey, what's the best way for individuals to connect with you?
Yeah, so Instagram is a great way. My tag is Toree Marie Gets. Tory is spelled with 2 E's.
Okay.
And then, yeah, it's under TM label.
Okay.
It's also, you could search that and probably find it. Yeah.
Do you have a website where people can like look at your clothes?
I
or
do,
buy
yeah.
them for you?
It's www.toreemarie.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
2 E's as well on that one.
2 E's, yep.
Yeah, consistency.
Yeah, gotta have that.
Awesome. Well, thank you
Alrighty.
again so
Yes,
much.
thanks for coming on our podcast,
Yes,
joining
thank
us
you
on our
so
great
much,
couch.
yeah.
Yes. And for squeezing it in.
Yes.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was
Okay.
important.
Well,
It worked out really well.
Are you off to Des Moines tonight or are you staying for the show?
I think I'm staying for the show.
Okay.
And we're gonna leave tomorrow. I have a friend flying out at like 4 a.m.
Oh,
So
wow.
Ouch.
I love that.
So
but-
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a plan going. We'll see you back in Iowa, Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
And am I correct, or you can tell me if I'm wrong? Keep in mind this is still recorded, so you could say, Santos, you're absolutely wrong. Was it just your birthday?
It was. Yes,
okay,
yes.
yesterday,
Ooh.
right?
Birthday.
Yes. Well, happy belated
Happy
birthday.
birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Well,
Yes.
thank you again. Seriously, I
We're
know
very
the
happy
girls.
to have you.
Yeah, I know the
Yes.
girls were super excited to have you on.
Oh,
so
good,
It
good,
means
good.
a lot that you
Yes,
were.
I was excited. I was
Yes.
a little nervous, but it
Yes.
wasn't.
Sure.
It was way easier than.
That's good.
Well, when
we
you
got
talked to me
this.
about it, you were like, should I do it? I'm like, yes, absolutely you
Yes.
should. So, well, thank you. Seriously.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks for your
Yeah.
time.
Thank you guys for tuning in. It's another wonderful episode here at the Fashion Hive. Now, there
Oh.
is one thing that I'm forgetting as everyone is
Our
yelling
producers
at
at the
me.
behind the camera.
We do require one thing from all of our guests here on the Fashion
So
Hive.
since we are the Fashion Hive, like a beehive, we require all of our guests to give us their best bzzz sound.
Oh.
I
Right,
love
it's
the
at the
pitch.
end.
It was
It's
the
like I can't be basic
crescendo.
Well,
That
thank
was
you
lovely.
again.
Yes.
here. You got me.
And we out.
Bye.